The stars at the edge of Sector 9 were quiet, cold, empty. Nothing ever came from that part of the galaxy until now. Officer Dellin of the Zyre Patrol sat inside his small outpost ship, looking at the screen. It blinked red. An unknown signal had just appeared near the dark border. He rubbed his 4 eyes, thinking it was an error, but the signal stayed. "Captain," Dellin called out. "You should see this." Captain Morth, an older Zyre with gray skin and sharp horns, walked over. His eyes narrowed as he read the numbers. "That's not one of ours," he said. "What species sends out a signal like that?" Dellin swallowed. "It's huge, sir." The scan shows it's over 20 kilometers long, moving slowly. 20? The captain repeated, shocked. "That's not a ship. That's a station or a moon." But it was no moon. It was moving, steady, and silent. No response to calls. No ID code. Just that deep hum. A low-frequency signal that shook their scanners. "Send." "The data to Central Command," Morth ordered. Now, hours passed. The outpost ship stayed still, watching. The strange vessel kept coming slow and steady like a predator that didn't need to run. No lights, no windows. Just a dark, sharp body floating like a shadow across the stars. By now, more ships were watching it. The Galactic Council had been alerted. A meeting was called. Inside the council chamber, 23 alien species gathered. Tall ones, short ones, those with wings, those with fur, and those that lived underwater, all now watched the screen. Together. The image was simple. A giant black ship, shaped like a blade. A monster of metal. Ambassador Kor from the Vryn Empire stood up. His voice was full of fear. "That ship is not from our charts. It does not answer. It moves toward the center of our space. Could it be a new race?" Someone asked. "No," came a cold voice from the back. Everyone turned. It was old Tyan from the Rural Council. He rarely spoke. "I have seen this design before." He sighed. "Long ago, in the archives, in the forgotten records." "What is it?" A younger ambassador asked. Taain looked up, his 4 hands shaking. "It's human." A silence fell. Humans. The word sent a chill across the chamber. They had been gone for over 200 years. After the last Terran War, Earth had closed. Its borders. Their ships vanished. Their signals stopped. Many thought they had destroyed themselves, but some remembered. Some remembered the wars. The black ships, the sudden attacks, the impossible strength, the madness of human will, the way they fought even when they were losing, especially when they were losing. And now, one of their ships had returned. Back at the edge of space, Captain. Morth's ship floated near the strange vessel. They dared not get too close. Drones were sent instead. Tiny metal scouts flew toward the massive object. One by one, the drones disappeared. No explosions. No warnings. Just silence. "This isn't war," Morth said softly. "This is something else." Then, for the first time, the massive ship moved. Not forward, not to attack. Just a slow turn, like it had noticed them. A large symbol became visible. On the ship's side, it was a circle, split into blue and green. The symbol of Earth. "Humans," Morth whispered. In the council chamber, panic had started. "They're back. Why now? Should we attack first?" "Silence," shouted the head speaker. "We don't know their intent. Do not let fear control us." But they didn't answer. Another voice yelled. "They just appear with that monster." Old Tayan stood again. "If they meant war, we'd already be dead." That brought more silence, but not peace. Back in space, the human Titan-class vessel continued to drift, calm and quiet. Its shape cut across the stars like a sword forgotten in the dark. The Zyre ships watched, afraid to blink. Then the signal changed. A voice came through. Just one word. Remember. Captain Morth stood frozen. Dellen stared at the speaker. Did it just speak? Morth nodded. Send that message to the council. Now. In the heart of the galaxy, the message echoed. Across all channels. Billions heard it. Remember. Some wept. Some ran. Some armed their fleets. But all felt the same thing. Fear. Because the humans had returned, and they had sent only one ship. Asterisk, the message was clear. Remember. Only one word from the human ship, but it was louder than any weapon. It echoed across every major star system. News spread faster than light. The humans had returned, and they came in silence. In the Galactic Council Hall. Everything was chaos. Voices screamed across the room. Holograms flickered. Translators buzzed. Leaders of over 50 races were shouting at once. They're threatening. You? That word, it's a warning. They want revenge. They want war. Amid the noise, High Speaker Nell of the Zarn Republic raised a hand. Her golden robes flowed as she stood tall. Enough, she said, her voice calm but firm. Let us think clearly. This ship has not fired. It has not moved in aggression. Ambassador Graal of the Grask Dominion stood up. His armor clanked as he moved. Speaker Nell, with all due respect, that ship destroyed our probes without effort. It silenced our scouts. That is aggression. Others nodded. The humans vanished for centuries, Graal continued. Now they return with a weapon the size of a small moon and say nothing but, remember? What should we remember? Their kindness? He laughed. Bitter and sharp. Old Tan from the Rural Council stepped forward again. I remember what they did. So do the records. A large screen showed ancient footage Earth warships fighting 6 fleets at once and winning. Cities burned. Stars died. And still, the humans pushed forward. We made peace back then only. Because they allowed it, Tan said. And now they return, not with many ships, but with one. One Titan-class ship. Gasps filled the room. Do you understand what that means? He asked. They are sending a message. They do not need an army. In another chamber, behind locked doors, a secret war meeting began. Only 5 species were allowed. The oldest and most powerful. We must prepare, said Durak of the Trell Alliance. If the humans strike, we cannot defend with words. General Lys, leader of the Venari fleet, nodded. We must launch first. Destroy that Titan before it reaches our core worlds. But what if it's just a scout? Asked Lura of the Dashi people. What if more are coming? Then we attack now before it's too late, Lys said. Tension grew. One by one, they looked to the central chair. Admiral Kellen of the Zenari was the highest-ranking military mind in the galaxy. Her face was calm. Her skin glowed with faint energy. If we attack and fail, we start the war ourselves, she said. But if we wait, we give them time to prepare. Either way, this is a test. A test? Asked Duarok.K. He nodded. The humans are watching us, measuring us, seeing if we are still the same galaxy that feared them, or if we have changed. And what if we haven't? Growl growled. Then they already know what they must do, she replied. Meanwhile, near the border, the Titan-class ship hovered in the dark. Still no movement. Still no second message. Inside the Zyre patrol ship, Officer Dellen stared at the massive structure on his screen. Sir, he said to Captain Morth, we're getting another signal. Weak, but real. From the Titan? No, sir. From inside it? They listened. It wasn't a voice this time. It was music. Soft, slow, haunting, a human song. Morth didn't understand the language, but the tone shook him deeply. It sounds like a farewell, Dellen whispered back in the council hall. A message arrived. It was from the Titan. This time, the voice was clearer. Human, calm, male. We do not come to destroy. We come to remind. This galaxy forgot who we are. We have not. Then silence again. No explanation. No terms. No demands. Just that voice. Ambassador. Coral stood. This is mind war. Psychological warfare. They want us to fear them before even lifting a finger. Speaker Nell replied, they don't need to fire. Their return alone has already shaken every world. Then what do we do now? Someone asked. Old Tahan looked around slowly. We wait and we prepare. Because the last time they came, we didn't understand them. And now? Taeon's voice dropped low. Now, we fear what we might understand. Far out in space, deep inside the Titan-class ship, a figure stood at the main control panel. Human, quiet, dressed in black armor. He looked out at the stars. He said nothing. But his silence meant something terrible. The galaxy had changed, but humanity had not forgotten. Asterisk. A galaxy was waiting. Every fleet, every system, every world. Waiting for the Titan-class warship to make its move. But the ship just floated in space, silent and still, like a sleeping monster. Inside the Zyre patrol ship, Officer Dellen hadn't left his post in hours. He watched the screen as the giant human ship hovered near the edge of neutral space. Still no movement? Captain Morth asked. Dellen shook his head. It hasn't changed course, speed, or signal. It just sits there. Morth crossed his arms. It's thinking, watching, like a beast deciding when to strike. Dellen frowned. Or waiting for us to strike first. Far across the galaxy, in the war room of the Grask Dominion, hundreds of ships were already moving. General Orvuk snarled at the hologram of the Titan ship. This is a trap. They want us to wait. But I say we fire now. His second-in-command, a smaller alien named Rhett, shifted nervously. But what if we miss? What if it survives? Orvuk laughed. Then we learn something about it, before it learns too much about us. He gave the order. 3 Grask stealth cruisers uncloaked near the Titan ship. On Dellen's screen, alarms began to flash. Sir, new ships detected Grask models. No communication. They're powering weapons. Captain Morth's eyes widened. Fools, they're going to attack. Dellen leaned forward. Should we warn the Titan? Morth shook his head. It doesn't need a warning. The Grask cruisers moved fast. Fast enough to destroy most ships in one hit. They launched plasma torpedoes. 3 glowing red trails flew straight at the Titan. Everyone watching across the galaxy held their breath. The Titan didn't move, didn't fire, didn't shield. Then, boom! The torpedoes hit the black armor. A cloud of light burst around the impact. But when the smoke cleared, the Titan was untouched. Not even a scratch. Across the galaxy, jaws dropped. Even seasoned war generals stared in silence. Then the Titan moved. Slow at first. Then faster. Panels opened across its surface, revealing strange blue lights. Symbols in old Earth languages lit up across its hull. A deep hum echoed through space. Not a weapon. Not yet. But a warning. In the Grask command ship, Orvuk stood frozen. What is this? His second officer screamed. It's charging something. He ordered retreat, but it was too late. A wave of invisible energy spread from the Titan like a pulse. Not an explosion, something different. Something cleaner. The 3 attacking ships froze, not exploded. Not destroyed. Just turned off. Engines, weapons, lights. Everything dead. Floating like cold stones. No life signs. Captain Morth stared at the screen. Did it just disable them? Ellen looked pale. No weapons. No fire, just a wave of energy. like it shut them down without touching them. Morth whispered, "I've never seen power like that." Across the Galactic Council, panic rose again. They didn't even fight. They stopped warships with one pulse. Is this a warning? Or a challenge? Speaker Nell stood and addressed everyone. This is not an invasion. It is a demonstration. Ambassador. Coral slammed his fist on the table. They're mocking us. Old Tayan spoke quietly. No, they're reminding us that we are still children playing at war. Inside the Titan ship, the human commander stood alone in the dark control room. Blue lights moved around him like spirits. He looked down at the message he had prepared. Transmit. Voice echoed once more across space. That was your only warning. We do not seek war, but we are not afraid of it. Back in the Zyre patrol ship, Captain Morth looked at Dellen. They could have killed those ships. Easily. Dellen nodded. But they didn't. Mercy? Morth asked. Control, Dellen said. They wanted us to see how far ahead they are. The galaxy had not seen a Titan-class ship in over 2 centuries. Now, they had seen one, and it was awake. The stars had changed. Across the galaxy, people no longer looked up in wonder. Now, they looked up in fear. The Titan-class ship had not attacked. It had shown its power dot without firing a weapon. It had disabled 3 Grask warships. No fire, no death, just silence. But that silence was louder than war. In the Galactic Council Hall. The air felt heavy. No one spoke for a long time. Even the loudest races, the ones born for battle, kept their voices low now. Speaker Nell finally stood. Her voice shook just a little. We asked who they were, she said softly. Now we know. They didn't even respond to our diplomats, said Ambassador Coral. Only action. They did respond, said Old Tayan. They sent a message, one we all understand. On the main screen, the last broadcast from the Titan replayed. Again, that was your only warning. We do not seek war, but we are not afraid of it. Elsewhere, in a hidden archive room, a young alien named Vel had found something. She was a historian, not a soldier. Her hands shook as she scrolled through old files. Images of human ships. Recordings of Earth. Battles. Videos from the Terran wars long. Erased from public view. And then she found it. An ancient human speech, broadcast right before the humans vanished. We leave not because we are weak, but because the galaxy is not ready. One day we will return, and we will see who has learned, and who has not. Vel stared at the words for a long time. She understood now. This Titan wasn't an attack. It was a test. Back near the Titan. Patrol. Ships kept their distance. No one dared approach after the energy pulse. Inside the Zyre ship, Officer Dellen was recording everything. Every scan. Every second. Captain Morth paced behind him. What is it waiting for? Morth asked. Dellen didn't answer, because just then something new happened. The Titan's surface changed. A glowing blue circle appeared at its front. It looked like a communication gate. Then the voice returned. Not just in one place. Everywhere. Across the galaxy. Every device, screen, and com station lit up. The message began. We are the Terran Reach. You knew us as humans. You forgot us. We did not forget you. We watched. We listened. We saw your councils rise, your wars continue, your pride grow. And now we return not to conquer, but to remember. The voice paused. Then continued. We gave you peace once. You used it to sharpen new weapons, to enslave smaller races, to erase our history. So we send one ship, one Titan, to ask a simple question. Have you learned? Some cried. Some cursed. Some sat in silence on the planet. Laren 7. A group of young students stared at the message. One of them, a small feathered being, whispered, I want to meet a human. Her teacher gently placed a wing over her shoulder. So did I once, before I learned to fear them. In the Venari War Command Center, General Lise crushed a metal cup in her hand. So this is their new weapon? Words, but her second in command looked worried. General, we fired at them. They didn't kill us. Lise paused. That was true. Humans had shown mercy, or something worse, control. Meanwhile, the human commander aboard the Titan stood in a tall chamber, alone. Machines moved around him, whispering calculations. The stars rotated slowly beyond the glass. A small drone floated beside him that had asked, "Shall we engage targets, Commander?" He answered with just one word, "No." Back on the Zyre ship, Bellin whispered, "They're giving us a chance." Captain Morth nodded. "Yes, but not many." Dallin leaned forward, staring at the massive ship. They could have sent a fleet, but they didn't. They didn't need to, Morth said. That ship is enough. Across the stars, people now understood. The humans were back, not as enemies, not yet, but as a reminder. A mirror held to the galaxy's face, and what the galaxy saw, it did not like. Asterisk. The galaxy had heard the message. We are the Terran Reach. We send one ship, one Titan, to ask a simple question. Have you learned? And now it had to answer Dot in the Galactic Council Hall. The mood had changed. The fear was still there, but now it was mixed with something else. Kalon Dot speaker Nell stood before the gathered leaders. They gave us a choice, she said. Not war, but a test. General Orvak of the Grask slammed his fist. We do not answer to humans, old Tean replied calmly, but we should have. Long ago. The room went quiet. A bold plan was made. A peaceful mission would be sent to the Titan. No weapons. No threats. Just one ship. One small group. To speak with the humans. To show the galaxy had changed. It was a risk. But war would be worse. The delegation ship was prepared quickly. 5 beings from 5 different species were chosen. Smart, peaceful, brave. Among them was Vel, the young historian who had found the old human message. As the ship lifted off, she stared at the stars and whispered, "Please, let them listen." Meanwhile, inside the Titan-class ship, the human commander watched the small ship approaching. He said nothing, but the ship was allowed to come closer. Docking port opened. Light poured into space like the opening of an ancient temple. The alien delegation stepped inside. No guards stopped them. No voices greeted them. Only silence and the soft hum of machines. Walls of smooth black metal surrounded them. Lights glowed softly as they walked through empty halls. Vel touched one wall. It was warm. Alive. It's like the ship is watching us, she said. The others nodded, uneasy, and the floor moved. A platform rose beneath their feet, lifting them high. Into a tall chamber. In the center stood a man. Human. Tall, armored, quiet. His face was calm, but his eyes held storms. "I am Commander Ryan of the Terran Reach," he said. "Speak." Vel stepped forward. She held out a small device. "This holds a message from the Galactic Council," she said. "We came to talk, not fight." Ryan did not take the device. Instead, he said, "You came to prove peace?" Vel nodded. "Yes." Ryan turned away, walking toward a large screen. It showed images of war, slavery, broken planets. "You speak peace now," he said. But where was this peace for the weak? Where was it when small worlds were burned for fuel? When your empires grew fat with stolen stars? The delegation stayed silent. He continued. "We watched. We saw. You speak of unity, but you still divide. You speak of law, but only when it serves your kind." Vel took a deep breath. "You're right. We failed. But some of us still hope. Some of us still learn. Ryan turned back to her. His voice softened just a little. Then this is your test, he said. The screen changed. It showed a small planet green, full of life. A peaceful world under threat by a local empire. Unknown to most of the council. But not unknown to us, Ryan said. Help them. Protect them. Without asking what you gain. Without delay. Without lies. Vel looked at the others. Why that world? She asked. Ryan stared at her, because no one else would. The platform lowered. The meeting was over. No. Handshake. No promises. Just a task. A test of peace. As the delegation left the Titan, Speaker Nell received the report. They gave us a chance, Vel said over the comm. Just one. Speaker Nell nodded slowly. Then we take it. Or we lose. More than peace. Fleet orders were changed. Warships were turned away. Relief ships were sent to the small planet. Doctors, engineers, defenders. For the first time in years, the galaxy moved not for profit, but for protection. On the edge of space, inside the Titan class vessel, Ryan watched the feed in silence. The humans had not attacked. They had not taken. They had only given a task. And now, they watched across the galaxy. Hope returned. Maybe the humans had come not to burn the stars, but to light them. Asterisk, the Titan-class ship was gone. Just like that. No noise. No light. No farewell. One moment it was there, hovering like a dark god in the sky, and then nothing. Empty space. Silent stars. The Galactic Council confirmed it. The ship had left faster than light. No trace remained. No signal. Not even radiation. The humans had tested them. And now they were watching again from somewhere far beyond. The stars. But they had left something behind. Fear. Not the fear of war. Not the fear of death. A deeper fear. The fear of being judged. Speaker Nell stood at the highest balcony on the council world. She looked up at the sky, thinking of everything. The message. The test. The choice. She had led the vote to help that small planet, the one the humans had pointed out. The rescue mission had succeeded. The planet was now safe. No profit was made. No glory was won. But something had changed. Across the galaxy, people began asking questions. Why did we ignore the week before? What would the humans have done? What will they think of us now? Old Tahen walked slowly through the old war museum. For years, the halls had been empty. Now they were full again. But not with celebration only, with quiet eyes and slow steps. He stood in front of a large black banner, once taken from a battlefield. The human symbol on it was still clear. A blue and green earth wrapped in steel wings. They left us a gift, he whispered to a young alien child standing beside him. What gift? The child asked. Than smiled sadly. A mirror. Back in the Zyra patrol ship, Officer Dellin still sat at his post. The captain had gone. The fleet had moved on. But Dellin stayed. He stared at the empty sky, wondering if the humans were still out there. He spoke softly to himself. They came without firing a shot. And yet they shook the galaxy. In a hidden lab on a desert moon, a group of scientists replayed the energy wave the Titan had released. They still didn't understand it. No weapon known to us behaves like this. One whispered. It shut down entire ships, gently. Not destroyed. Not killed. Just silenced. What does it mean? A younger scientist asked. The elder one answered. It means they could have killed us, but chose not to. In the ruins of the Grask Dominion's command center, General Orvak stood alone. His ships had been disabled. His pride broken, but he was still alive. He remembered how the humans had spared his fleet. And that mercy burned deeper than defeat. Far. From the galaxy's core in deep black space, a small satellite drifted. It blinked once, just once. A single pulse of blue light. The Titan's last signal. It was simple. Just 4 words. We are still watching. Back on Earth, somewhere hidden beneath layers of ocean and stone, the human council gathered. Commander Ryan stood before them. The test has been sent, he said. The others nodded. And the results? One asked. Ryan answered calmly. Not perfect, but promising. An older woman at the end of the table smiled. Then we wait, she said. A little longer. Ryan turned back toward the stars. Yes, he said. Just a little longer. Across the galaxy, stars burned quietly. But now, they burned differently. Planets built not just walls, but bridges. Leaders asked not how to conquer, but how to protect. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was no longer afraid of each other. They were afraid of disappointing someone greater. Someone who had come in silence, someone who had judged without hate, someone who had shown that real power does not need to scream. Asterisk.